everybody, this is Nicole. So I am doing, I guess you could say, batch recording. So if it looks like, well, if it looks like I am in the same clothes, it's because I decided to do back-to-back recording because we haven't done this type of video in a while, and I like to do it. If this is not your cup of tea, that's fine. Which is why I put a trigger warning in the title, so that if you don't want to watch this kind of video, I completely understand. I want to talk about the importance of mental health, mental wellness, self-care, and all of that stuff, and making sure that you take care of yourself, which I sometimes, no, not sometimes, a lot of times I don't do. I don't always reach out to lean on anybody because I think that I can just do it myself. You would think after so many years of dealing with what I deal with, I would be okay with reaching out to somebody to get help. You know, obviously other than my psychiatrist and my psychologist. But, you know, I don't. I mean, I do, but I don't. And I know a lot of people don't always have a good support system. And, you know, you always hear, oh, just think happier thoughts, or it's just in your head, or good, you know, good vibes only, or positive vibes only, or just get over it. I don't understand why you're so sad, or it can't be that bad because of XYZ. You have this and that and the other thing. And the thing is that when it comes to anything to do with either, you know, chronic pain, chronic illnesses, mental illnesses, they don't discriminate on who it affects. I mean, it's, you know, you can be rich, you can be poor, you can be middle class, you can be a teenager, you can be an adult, and have to deal with these certain things. And so, for those of you who may be new, because I know that there's a couple of you who may be new, that may not know that the actual reason that I started this channel wasn't necessarily about the yarn. It wasn't about the resin pouring and all of that stuff. That's the stuff that is art therapy to help me deal with the anxiety that I have, the panic attacks and stuff like that. Same with the yarn and crocheting. It's the thing that helps me manage my panic attacks. It helps me manage those like gremlins that are inside of my head telling me what a horrible person I am. And a lot of times it's really hard to ignore, like when, you know, you're canceling at the last minute because you just you can't do whatever it is. And so, for me, it's really hard, and I don't know how hard, you know, for some people it's harder than others, and it's not a competition. It just depends on who the person is and how, you know, how well they handle it. It's also depending on what, you know, how good of a support system you have. And some people don't have any. Some people have a small support system, and some people have a big, huge, great support system. And so that's the reason why I made this channel, is because it's like saying, you know, just because you're uber rich, you're not depressed, or you don't have anxiety. That's not true. or because you're middle class, you should be able to be happy all the time. That's also not true. Because all different kinds of people have it. And so it's important to understand where, or try to empathize with people who have to deal with it, because it's hard. It really truly is hard. And like, for example, when I first started getting panic attacks, they were, well, they still are really bad. And my husband never really understood what it was like to have a panic attack. And, you know, trying to explain that to somebody who has never had panic attacks is really hard. And I sometimes describe it as like having 1,000-pound boulder sitting on the top of my chest, and I can't breathe. My face gets numb. I can't feel my lips. And, you know, I'm hyperventilating and I feel like I can't breathe. When in reality, that's just not the case. It's just, you know, my brain is just in overdrive. And so I'm, you know, trying to explain all of this to him, and, you know, he didn't really understand. But there came a point, this was several years ago, where he actually had panic attacks, and he finally understood what it was like. And he had told me, after, luckily for him, he was able to get a handle on it, and is okay now, which I'm happy, because I would never wish panic attacks on anybody. It's not a fun thing to deal with. And he told me that now he understands why it's so hard. Why sometimes I'm, you know, it's just where I want to just scream into a pillow to get it to stop, or I'm crying to get it to stop. And so from then on, you know, he's tries to be as understanding as he possibly can. And so it's I want you to know that you're not alone. And I've heard from several people who subscribe to me say that they're glad that they found my channel, because they found somebody who deals with the same things that they deal with. It may not be exactly the same, but within that vicinity of, you know, having panic attacks, having anxiety, or some sort of mental illness, to say, okay, I identify with that person. And that it's okay to sometimes, like for me, sometimes I'll go in the bathroom and cry, or hide in the closet and cry because I don't want to cry in front of my kids, and all of that stuff. Or just sometimes I want to just hide under the blankets and not be around anybody, because of the way I feel. And it's hard. It's really hard. And so I want to tell you that it's okay. It is okay. And when you have, like, if I have bipolar, and I have my manic episodes, I have my depressive episodes. I go through all kinds of ups and downs, and have my anxiety, I have the panic attacks and all that stuff. And that it's okay to feel that way, because it's real. It's not in your head, it's real. And so I want to tell you that virtually, through the this video, I am giving you a hug and telling you that it is okay. it's okay to feel the way that you feel. And don't let anybody tell you that there's, that you need to snap out of it or think happy thoughts or, why don't you meditate or do your breathing exercises or try yoga or whatever it is, because sometimes that just won't do it. And for me, a lot of times it doesn't do it. And I will be completely and brutally honest with my doctors and tell them it does not work for me. And so, which is part of the reason why I'm on medication. And I am not embarrassed to say that I am on medication, that I do go to therapy once a week, and talk about, what has happened through the week. Like last week, I was in a world of hurt. I mean, I think that was the worst shape I have been in quite some time. And I had therapy. Luckily it's telemed. And so, my therapist, she and I talked about it, and, there was a lot of long silences in that session because I was trying to deal with the flare, plus deal with the fact that my husband wasn't around, because he's the person that I lean on when I have, episodes like this. And I can't ask my kids to lean on them for that. That's not their responsibility to take care of mom. It's my responsibility to take care of them. And so, I felt bad. And, of course, the gremlins in the head was like, what's wrong with you? You're a loser. You're a terrible mom for, acting this way. And, it just, it got worse as the week went on because he was gone for five days. And that was by far the longest and most horrendous 5 days that I've had in a long time, because I wasn't feeling good, with the bronchitis, the ear infection, and COVID all at once. I had to go back on my nebulizer. I was having difficulty breathing, add the flare to it all, and it was just not a lot of fun. So, luckily, my husband and I were texting back and forth, and so he knew that I was having a hard time, and he obviously, there was only so much he could do because he was out of state. But I knew that it was going to be okay eventually when he came home, because he's my safe person. He's the person I lean on. He leans on me. And I'm lucky because I have a good support system. And I hope that you have a good support system. If you don't, there's nothing wrong with finding a therapist. There's a lot of, there's a lot of ways to get therapy these days through telemed. If you have a hard time leaving the house, which I have a hard time leaving the house, I have agoraphobia. And so I always pray that I don't have to go anywhere for therapy or whatever, but sometimes I have to because of, my medical problems. But that's okay too. I just suck it up and deal with it. But in any case, I just wanted to say that you guys are the best, especially those of you who have stuck with me for all of this time, my ups and downs, my cuckoo-ness of posting and then not posting and being so inconsistent, which is why, I feel like I'm never going to reach my goal, no matter how hard I try. But Yeah, I know I'll get there eventually. It's just going to take me a little bit longer, maybe, or maybe I just just going to have to be satisfied with what I have now. At, you know, I think I'm at 1,111, which is, you know, a great accomplishment as it is, because I only thought there were going to be like maybe 5 people that were going to want to watch me talk about this nonsense, because I know that a lot of people come on YouTube to escape, not to hear about all of these things. But it's something, these are subjects that people don't always like to talk about. And I think it needs to be talked about. It's important that it's talked about, because there are so many people who suffer from these things. And I always say, you're not cured, you are managing your mental health with whatever exercises you have to do, whether it's going to therapy and medication, just medication, or exercise, or whatever it is. It's managing, so that you don't spiral. And so, yeah. So I appreciate you guys for being so super understanding, and for reminding me not to push myself, that I don't need to push myself to the point of exhaustion, which is what I did. And now I am paying for it, because I am now sick and I am exhausted, and that is, I only have myself to blame for that. I'm sure you guys know I feel so great, so I'm gonna vacuum the whole house, I'm gonna clean the bathrooms, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and then the next like 8 days or whatever, you're gonna, you know, your whole body is like, oh my God, what did I do? So but today is going to be where, once I finish this video, because I did one more video prior to this, I'm going to schedule it so that one video is probably going to be posted today, which is Wednesday, and then the other one will be posted tomorrow. And then I'm going to probably do a pre-recorded video of me pouring resin and glazing. And then Saturday will be my live earlier in the morning. So I hope you come. And I apologize for not having a whole bunch of prizes, but I do hope you attend, because I want it to be a lot of fun. Spread the word that I will be having my live, and it'll be early. I apologize for that, but that's just when it'll work for me, with it being the day that it is. And then yeah, and then we'll do something. Well, then next week we will get back into the groove of Wednesdays will be resin pouring day, and I'll record pre-record unmolding stuff, all of that. It will be, I'm gonna jump back in with 2 feet into the pool, and get a move on with doing this thing, and having somebody pay attention and say, hey, she deserves a subscribe, and all of that stuff, and spreading the word and saying that Nicole's an awesome person, and you should definitely subscribe to her to help her out. So in any case, I hope that you have a wonderful day, wonderful rest of the week. And I am going to rest for a little bit and then do my little editing and post. So until the next one, I will talk to you guys later. And I appreciate all of you guys. You guys are the best. And I hope this video didn't upset too many people, because I like being very much honest with everybody, because being a spoonie is tough sometimes. So yeah, I love you guys again, and I will talk to you later. Okay, bye.